Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at this. It is a repaint of the Dark of the Moon Sideswipe, and I say the Dark of the Moon one because I'm pretty sure that that was the Dark of the Moon one that didn't have the roof on it. And this is not Sideswipe. This is Darksteel. Not what I think of when I think of the name Darksteel personally, but is this character any good? Is this mold any good? This is the first time I've ever looked at this Sideswipe mold. Sideswipe by any other name. It's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is Darksteel. When I think of Darksteel, I think of the one that was in the Decepticon's Rising movie, the one that turns into like a griffin type thing. Strangely enough, the head sculpt on this is somewhat bird-like, which sort of matches the bird-like alt mode head of that. So there is a bit of a nod and an homage there. In this case, Darksteel is a renowned Decepticon warrior, which is kind of cool. This large bladed thing really speaks to the character, because while the character can and sometimes does use blasters, he really prefers to use blades, and he prefers to use, you know, skill in combat. I suppose in a roundabout way we could say that this, the Dark of the Moon Darksteel, is a sideswipe of another color. And I say that because this is basically a reuse of the Sideswipe mold with a new head and maybe a couple of like other new bits and pieces, but generally it's the Dark of the Moon, sorry, not Dark of the Moon. Is it Dark of the Moon? Or is it Revenge of the Fallen? Hold on. Dark of the Moon version of Sideswipe. Basically, our guy here turns into a Corvette Stingray. I'm not sure if it's a concept or not. It might be a concept because I don't think that they were convertible, but this is convertible. He has a bunch of mech tech ports on him, and you know what? They're actually kind of brilliant. Like, I'm going to take this one here off the side. When you take this one off the side, the hole actually fills in. I think that's neat. This one, by the way, is supposed to look like a pair of fangs. Funny enough, I got this in a bag thrifting when I got Drift ages ago, and I had no idea who owned it or where it came from or what it was. So kind of neat now to know what it is. But yeah, so this is supposed to be like a pair of fangs, and the one that actually has the gimmick on it, we'll say, is supposed to be like a scorpion stinger, apparently. So we're gonna lay those aside. Darksteel is a combatant, and apparently he doesn't like using blasters. He'd rather melee, which is why he comes with those accessories. I believe they might be the mech tech accessories that came with Starscream, if I'm not mistaken, but somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. They can also go together. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, I wanted to mention our guys' instructions. They are double-sided, going from vehicle to robot and robot back to vehicle. As well, on the other side, they show how you can use the accessories, and you can see how they go together down here. So yes, indeed, here we have this accessory, which honestly is pretty solid for the most part. A little bit of hollowness right there, but that's it. And we have this one, again, not much hollowness, just a little bit on that piece, and that's about it. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can sort of handle how you pop this mech tech blade out. One, you can kind of like just pick it out, of course. Or two, you can push this piece ahead. You might say, well, how do you push that piece ahead? Easy. You have two little clips here and a port here, and you have a port here and two little, or another port here that takes the two little clips. So you can put this in and then push it. You should be able to push it all the way forward. There, to get it together. And you'll know it's locked in because these two pieces will lock into each other. And it gives us this gigantic double-bladed thing, and using this peg here, oh, we can put it on the side thusly, and I don't know, it would be difficult to drive with that on, but he still rolls. Let's take this off so we can look at Darksteel / Sideswipe right here. So both of these side mirrors are soft rubbery plastic. They are tiny. Very tiny. He rolls like an absolute champion, but I don't find that this mold likes to stay together. I find that it's always popping stuff. It's like it wants to work, I don't know, against itself. The instructions, I mean, they're fine and whatnot, but I mean, this isn't that hard of a transformation anyway. In terms of looks, again, this guy is one of those Decepticons that didn't appear in the film. I guess he's just there to bolster the ranks, easy repaint. So I'm going to have to give it a 10. I do love the metallic teal here. So I'm going to give the look a 10 because I sort of kind of have to. I do find the head very similar to Lockdown's first movie head, so to speak. Not the same, but very similar indeed. Let's get into the transformation and then we'll do his articulation and the transformation. But right now, he's getting a 10 for the look. I believe we begin, by lifting that up. I hope I can actually remember how to do this. We'll see. We'll see if I do. No guarantees. We will pick off that, and we will pick off that, and pick off the side here, and pick off the side here. And we're going to begin by, picking this up. Great. Now with that up, we can also unpeg the pieces here and unpeg this piece here. And when you unpeg them, all you're doing is you're taking a little tab out of a little slot in here, basically. And now that we have all of that unpegged, we can open up the chest, and then all of that folds down, and there's a little slot down here and a little tab right there, and that should lock into place down there. We are going to take that back. We're going to make sure we have our head out, and we're going to pick these up on the side, and honestly, we're just going to angle them back like that for now. I have to reposition things. I know I'm starting to go off screen a little bit. Bear with me just a moment. My apologies. If some parts did go off screen, we're going to take this shoulder and it rotates down. This shoulder, very, very tight. We're also going to rotate this down, and we're going to rotate that hand down. Then on the other side, we're going to, again, rotate that down, and rotate a hand down. These are supposed to like kind of go like up and out type of thing, but honestly, I tend to just leave them down on his back. I prefer them down there myself. And I do find that sometimes that peg likes to pop out, at least until I'm done transformation. Okay, so now that the upper body is done, we can do the lower body. We begin by picking both of those off the side. We fold in this piece, and then all of this kind of comes up over like that. Then we come to the actual leg here, and we sort of straighten the knee a bit, and straighten the knee a bit. Wonderful. We pick these off the side a little bit, and we begin to rotate that up and bring this all the way down. Rotate this to the back and bring out, if you haven't done it already, that toe. And that's basically his foot there. We're going to do the same over here. We're going to begin to rotate this down. We're going to rotate that to the side, bring this down, bring this spur, I suppose, out. Toe, I guess, out. And boom, in the end, here we have Darksteel in his robot mode. And I just wanted to get his accessories in his hands. Of course, they can go on other ports that are on this guy, wherever it is you want to put them. The transformation is pretty easy. And honestly, to go back to vehicle mode, it's pretty easy because there is a lot of stuff that tabs in. The only problem is, I don't find any of the tabs like to hold. As soon as you tab something in and you go to tab something else in, then something comes untabbed. It's not hard, but it's also not elegant. I'm going to give it, I like it, but you got to accept that it's inelegant. I'm going to give it, we were doing a 10 for look. I'm going to say an 8 for the transformation. He's about a 9. It's a really good mold, really. Let's do the articulation. So we can take that out and we can take that out. He naturally has kind of like arm blades. So the arms can go well out to the side that far. I like it. They can go all the way around. These can move however you want them. Like I said, I tend to leave them more back, but that's up to you. I do wish that this seemed to lock in, and it doesn't seem to lock in anywhere. It's not a huge deal, but the shoulder can go all the way around. Elbow to 90 degrees, bicep swivel. The hand can go in, but no wrist rotation. No waist, a little bit of a bummer. Leg can go well forward. Leg can go well back. I also can't seem to tab this in anywhere, but I might be missing it. Maybe there is a spot to tab it in that I'm just missing. Taking the arms up to the side again. It could be a little bit better at the hips. Then we have, like, I guess technically a knee, but it's not to 90 degrees or anything, but there's also this chicken leg type of look. And if you want to use that lower one, like, you can get kind of a double knee bend. It's not exactly 90 degrees, but you can get some dynamic poses. Nothing at the ankle. I think the articulation is, I'm about to shock some people I think now, because most of it is there. An ankle tilt would have been nice, a waist would have been nice, but I'm only going to give the transformation about a 6. Here's why, or sorry, the articulation about a 6. Here's why. It's not that it's bad, but I can't discover or discern anywhere for the shoulders to tab in when you push them up. I can't discover or discern anywhere for any of the backpack to actually lock in. It all just sort of frictions into place. The head, I didn't do that. That can go left, right, and a little wiggle up and down. And the ankles, when you bring them in, I don't see anywhere for them to actually lock. Now, I admit, I could very, very easily be overlooking something, and someone in the comments might say, hey, GotBot, you can tab that in here or tab that in there. But I'm not seeing it, and it's not intuitive. And it does affect the articulation because things move ways you don't want them to move. I might be going to twist the shoulder and the whole shoulder assembly comes down. I might be going to, and honestly, that shoulder issue is the exact same issue that I have currently with the Legacy Evolution, or no, Legacy United Chase. His shoulders don't have really a lock-in point. They just friction up. Same thing here. This is excellent. Overall score, even though I'm saying about a 5 or whatever, 6 I think I said for the articulation because of a lack of locking points. I mean, because he was getting like a 9, you know, he's still getting a 7.5, right? The Studio Series, obviously better, but this, and when I say Studio Series, I mean the Sideswipe, but this is still good. It's just, you gotta understand that you're probably gonna want locking points in certain places where there aren't locking points. He's great, but he's a far cry from perfect. In terms of the mold itself, very lanky, very strange looking, but well articulated. I kind of dig these blade things on the arms. Shockingly surprised at how well the feet actually work because of course we have the tires down there, but they really don't hinder much. An inward ankle tilt might have been nice. Some people prefer to leave these up on the side and use these as the feet, but I find that that makes the knee area kind of too low, but that's just me. In terms of the transformation, it's not bad, but I don't find the alt mode stays together well. Like, I don't feel like it's a solid transformation. I feel like the robot mode is more solid than the car mode. But the car mode, while there's a lot of tabbing points and places for things to lock in, none of it feels like it locks in super secure. Great looking car mode, and maybe it's just this copy of the mold. Maybe the Sideswipe's better. Maybe another copy of this is better. Maybe it's just, you know, gotten loose with age. So I tried to kind of mitigate my thoughts with all of that. But I did find the car to be a little more cumbersome, I suppose you could say, than the robot. Also, I do like that you can put the door wings down on the back if you want a more sleek look. I like this. Again, I don't know if it's one that I don't know if it's a mold I would specifically go out and hunt for, but I appreciate it for what it is, and I'm glad that I finally had a chance to take a look at it. I would probably objectively score pretty well. I would probably objectively say, hey, it's not bad. It's probably worth a pickup. But I don't know if I, you know, would specifically hunt for it, and I certainly wouldn't overpay for it. It's fun if you can find it for the right deal. Let me know what you think about Darksteel, or Sideswipe for that matter. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, please and thank you, hit the subscribe button, man. Stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. Why not? And most importantly, don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here, inside the videos.